Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Kulkarni from Universal Public School. So let us continue the part 2 of 10th standard history, 5th chapter, that is mass media and history. So before proceeding further, so let us have a quick review whatever we have seen in the last part. So we have seen the basic introduction of mass media. What is mass media? The information has passed to a huge number of people, and what is history of mass media, how we started printing the paper. As we know, earlier there was no printing technology, only handwritten and mouth transfer of information was there. So the printing technology has come after the arrival of British. Then we have seen the newspapers, what are the different contents we have in the newspapers, and in along with India and outside the country, how the news used to be transferred, or that's precursors of newspapers. And then we have seen the first English paper or the first newspaper which was published in India was Bengal Gazette, that was on 29th January 1780. Then we have seen Darband, the first Marathi newspaper which was published by Bala Shastri Jambekar, whose birthday, that 6th January, we celebrate as Patrakar Din. Then we have seen Prabhakar newspaper, Jnanoday, Kesari and Maratha, and other papers, and we have seen the magazines and journals also. So before proceeding further, I want to make it sure that basic difference between newspaper, magazine and journals is that newspapers are published daily or continuously. We have daily newspapers or weekly newspapers, whereas magazines, they are not published daily, they are periodically, like weekly, bi-weekly, monthly or quarterly, yearly. Okay, the time duration of publication is more in magazines as compared to newspapers, and the journals are the printed papers which are published on a particular research, explaining a particular topic. If something is published, that is called as journals. That is the basic difference between newspaper, magazine and journals. So next proceed further. Let us proceed with electronic or digital journalism. See, this is an ultra modern technology, periodicals from a form of part of electronic of digital or the digital journalism. The history is a prime subject of interest for these periodicals as well. See, actually what happens, now, till now we have seen the newspapers are being published. Okay, so we get that a hard copy. Okay, and other than that, if the information has been broadcasted digitally, as we are living in a digital life now, we are living the digital life, so the technology is very much handy to every people. So other than instead of having the hard copy of the information, let's get the information digitally or electronically, as we get the news on now so many newspapers we have at the same soft copy or same applications you can get on the mobile phone, as you have Lokmat, you have Sakar, you have Punyanagari. There are so many newspapers which are which get printed, and also we can get the application on mobile phone or electronically or digitally also you can access them. And you have so many news channels also which you can watch on the TV. And other than that, those news channels or the news you can watch on your mobile phone or laptop also, that is electronically or digitally. So that is exactly what you mean by electronic or digital journalism. And other than that, many web news portals, social media, web channels like YouTube, etc. make historical content available to the audience or readers. Like news portals, as I said, you have so many news channels like Z, you have ABP Ajkal, and it is all news channels are available on the news portals. Whatever you can watch on the TV, same thing you can watch electronically or digitally on your mobile phone also. And you have so many social medias, like you have Facebook, you have WhatsApp, you have Instagram, you have Twitter. Okay, so you through them also you can get the information. Then you have web channels like YouTube and Google. There are so many, so through which also you can access the history. Okay, so these are the digital medium to access the history, and these make the historical content are available easily on these portals. Okay, then next you have is radio. See, first we have seen mass media, and the first mass media type we have seen, that is newspaper. The next is radio. Okay, and before proceeding further, let me explain why the radio is needed. Because anyways, through newspaper we are sending the information. What's the need of bringing radio to spread the information? Because see, the newspaper may not reach at every place, every corner of the country. Okay, because that time maybe there may be transportation problem, or there may be some technical problem where the hard copy or the newspaper may not reach. Okay, or the cost required to purchase the newspaper, you need to give the money. And okay, so that may be the problem. But radio is a machine which captures the waves, radio waves. Okay, and it passes through the air. So air can reach everywhere, every corner in the world or on the earth. So there is no restriction, there is no exactly transportation is needed, no bus, no car is needed to reach that information. So radio, through radio you can get the radio signals and you can hear the audio. Okay, so what I mean exactly, wherever the newspaper can't reach, the hard copy can't reach, there the radio signals can be reached through air, and there the information can be spread. So therefore the radio is another type of mass media. So the first Indian broadcasting company, IBC, a private radio company, was the first one to broadcast daily program. So the first one, IBC, was the private one which started broadcasting the programs on radio, and later it was taken over by the British government and named it as Indian State Broadcasting Service. It's ISBS. And on 8th June 1936, it was renamed as All India Radio, that is AIR. And after independence, All India Radio became an integral part of Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, that is in India. So the first the radio company was private company. Later it was acquired by the British, and after that in 1936 it is renamed as All India Radio. So a question can be asked, a mismatch. What is IBC? And British they have taken over. What's the name they have renamed? And after in 1936, what is renamed as? So find out the mismatch. That question can be asked on this. Okay, and after independence, the radio was the main medium to transfer the information. That was the main medium which was used by Ministry of Information and Broadcasting to send the information. Initially, it broadcasted government programs and schemes, and later it was named as Akashvani on the suggestion of famous poet Pandit Narendra Sharma. So All India Radio was renamed as Akashvani by the suggestion of the great poet, the very famous poet, that is Pandit Narendra Sharma. Akashvani means Akash is a sky, Vani means the sound. The sound coming through the sky, that is Akashvani, what we say. So the Akashvani broadcasts various entertainment. Earlier it was only supposed to broadcast the information, government related programs, and later it started broadcasting entertainment, awareness creating, literacy program, and also started broadcasting the special programs for farmers, workers, youth and women. And later the Vividh Bharati program are broadcasted in 24 regional languages as well as the 146 dialects of Indian languages. Okay, so we earlier we were having only in Hindi, and later Vividh Bharati has started broadcasting the information or the programs in 24 regional languages and 146 dialects. Lately, various news channels like Radio Mirchi are providing radio services. Okay, so earlier we were having only one radio channel, it's government channel, that is Akashvani, and later Radio Mirchi has been started, and nowadays we have plenty of other private radio channels. Okay, you have now you can see there are so many channels. Okay, and one more thing I would like to add, in the magazines recently we have in the topic of magazine and journal. So recently you can see the periodical magazines like Filmfare, Outlook, Indian Today. Okay, so those you can see. Okay, then Reader's Digest. So these are the recent few magazines. Okay, then next you have is another type of mass media is your television, what we shortcut in say in shortcut we say as television. Delhi Doordarshan Center was inaugurated by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the first Indian president. Okay, the Delhi Doordarshan Center, where the center from where exactly the programs been broadcasted. So that was inaugurated by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, who was the first Indian president. Then Doordarshan's Mumbai center began to telecast the programs started on 1st May 1972. The first center was Delhi Doordarshan Center, and the second center which was inaugurated by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and later on 1st May 1972 the Mumbai center started broadcasting the information. Okay, and whenever the television was introduced in India, earlier we were having only black and white, and if you see nowadays we can't find black and white televisions, but if you ask your elders, okay, so they might be knowing earlier we were having only black and white TVs. The color television was introduced on 15th August 1982. Okay, and now in everybody's house we have color television, but the first time it was introduced on 15th August 1982. And earlier we were having only one channel, that is DD National. It was government channel that was only used to be broadcasted on the television. But in 1991 the Indian government granted permission to the private national and international channels to telecast in India. As now we have Star Plus, Z, Colors, and there are so many private channels. No, earlier we were having only one channel, that was government channel, that is Doordarshan. Okay, and in 1991 the government gave permission to the private channels, national and international channels, such that it became possible for Indians to watch international events on television. Even like National Geography, we have BBC. There are so many television, the international channels through which the Indians started watching the international events by sitting at India. They got the provision to watch international events on their televisions. Okay, and next question is like, why do we need mass media? So we have seen what is mass media, the different types of mass medias, what are the advantages and everything. And now let us see, why do we need all these things? Okay, we need mass media to facilitate free flow of information to all strata of the society. So getting information is a basic right of all human beings. Okay, so to facilitate the flow of information, in the free flow of information to the different levels of the society, the mass media is needed, because see, it's not restricted that information should be given to the particular level of the society, and it's not like that. All this level of the society, the people of all level of society are equally having the right to know the information what's happening. So for that, the free this mass media provides the free flow of information to all the different levels of the society. The editorials, various columns and supplements are essential part of the newspapers. Editorials, the opinion, and the different opinion of the people, and they are the integral part of the newspaper, and readers are also ensured of the platform to voice their opinion. In the democracy, you have the right to talk, you have the right to put forward your point. So the newspaper gives you the platform to put forward your voice and opinion. The newspaper can help in making the democracy stronger, as you can you can tell your opinion, you can criticize something, or you can easily accept, or you can oppose. Okay, so all the rights are being reserved, and the democracy can be maintained and can be made strong through newspapers. Then you have television. Television is an audio-visual medium. It was possible for this medium to cross the inherent limitations of the newspapers. See, I would like to add one more point. See, in the television, if you see newspaper, radio and television is having more impact. It's a more powerful medium of transferring the information. How? Because in television you can see you can have an audio visual impact, whereas in newspaper you can read. Means only literate people can get the information, who are educated. So those only can read the newspaper and they can get the information. Okay, and whereas in the radio, that drawback of newspaper has been overcome. Means there you can hear the news where literacy is not required. Until it's okay if you are not literate also, you can hear the news, what's happening in the nation, what's happening outside, what's happening in your local area. Okay, you can hear. Okay, but in television you can have the audio visual impact. You can watch, you can see, and you can feel exactly as if the things are happening in front of you. For example, if the cricket match is going on, okay, if you and if you are reading the same news in the news on the news in the newspaper, it feel like, if you are literate, you can read it. The same commentary, if you are listening on the radio, only you can listen. Okay, but it gives more impact as if if you watch on the television, as if you are becoming the part of that. So what I mean to say, a television is gives an more impact as it's an audio visual medium. Okay, the same point is elaborated here. Television is an audio visual medium. It was possible for this medium to cross the inherent limitations. So whatever the limitations we had for newspaper and radio, so those limitations have been overcome in television. Of newspaper and radio, and show the actual visual of an event to the people. So far there is no other alternative to television for watching an event as it's actually happened. Right now, till now, there is no alternative option to the television, as if you can feel the information. Okay, then next is critical understanding of the information received through mass media. So what does it mean exactly? Whatever the information you are getting through mass media, whatever the news you are here reading, or whatever the news you are hearing, or whatever the news you are watching on the TV, it is required to critically understand the information, whether exactly whatever the information we are getting is right or wrong, or it is right to at what level or which context it is giving the information. Okay, it is must to understand that level of correctness of the information. Otherwise, nowadays you can see on WhatsApp or on a social media, you can get plenty of informations, and there are so many fake also, and that's why it's very much important for us to understand, or to know how much that information is correct or not. Okay, any information received through mass media need to be reviewed critically. It should be unbiased way. We should analyze it. We should check whether the information is right or wrong. The news or information in the media may not always represent exact truth. Exactly what I mean to say now. Nowadays you have on WhatsApp and social media, you can get hundreds of information, but there you see how many of them are true. That should be analyzed. We need to scan it very carefully. There is a very famous event of unauthentic information appearing in the print in Germany. So there is an example why it should be done exactly. So there is an example of Germany. Stern, a German weekly magazine, had purchased a number of so-called handwritten diaries of Adolf Hitler. Everybody know Hitler, he is very famous for his Hitler rule. Okay, so what is the example? In Germany, Stern is a weekly magazine, so they purchased a handwritten diaries of Adolf Hitler. It sold them it sold to the various publication companies also. The diary was verified for their authenticity, and subsequently the news appeared in the print. However, later those diaries were proved to be forged. It became apparent from this example that we need to be very careful about the information published by the media. So exactly what happened? Germany want to publish they got in their magazine Stern, they want to publish the handwritten letters which were written by the Adolf Hitler. So they got purchased by somebody, and they given for publication and all everything, and they analyzed it also. But subsequently they came to know that whatever they have printed, it was false, it was wrong. So that should not happen. Whatever you're printing, it should be analyzed in both the ways. Okay, and then only the information should be passed. Otherwise, nowadays you can get there are so many fake messages. This was what happened, that is what happening. But if you really analyze that event might have happened 20 years before, So just it may harm the society also. Then you have mass media and professional opportunities. Okay, newspapers have to fulfill the task of providing fresh news to its readers. So the fresh news should be given. It's also necessary to unfold the background of an event in the news. See, it's not only the responsibility of the newspaper it is to give the fresh information, but it also should give the background information. It should unfold the background information or unfold the background of an event. Okay, so it should be very detailed and fresh information should be given. At such times, newspapers have to resort to history. While reporting news in detail, reporters try to compare it with the parallel events which happened in the past. So whatever the fresh information should be given, and while giving the fresh information, the daily information, it should be compared with whatever happened in the earlier. Like for example, recently you had 125th birth anniversary of Gandhiji, and whatever happened in the past, so it should be related, it should go parallelly with that which happened in the past. The past events may be printed in the separate frame, history of today or today's history karke. There should be separate frame to publish the past history also. Thus the readers get access to additional information, and then they can get the better insight about the current news. The newspaper print columns about historical information appearing under headings such as 50 years ago or 100 years ago or etc. Such columns are based on historical documents or written history. These columns provide historical information about economics, social, political events in the past, and also events of historical significance. So the main basic motto of the newspaper is to give the fresh information, and it should give it should clarify or unfold the background of an event. The total ground level information should be given in the newspaper. Along with that, moving parallelly with the historical day. Today, what happened exactly 50 years ago? What happened exactly 100 years ago? If I give an example, the best example is if you watch DNA on Z News. So there he says, the history of today. So every day he says who born 100 years ago. Who like today, if I say first May, so they can say 1st May. We can say on 1st May we can have the color TV was introduced, or the Mumbai Doordarshan Center was introduced, not color TV. The Mumbai Doordarshan Center was introduced. The 1st May every year comes, but you can relate it to the history also. Okay. Then newspapers occasionally publish supplements to the regular edition or special issues. For example, World War I commenced in 1914. So year 2014 marked as 100th year of this event. Okay, so in that 2014 you can say the First World War, it's been 100 years now when the First World War was commenced. In order to be able to publish a newspaper supplement or a social issue to commemorate the occasion. So in our school we celebrated 125th birth celebration of Mahatma Gandhi ji. Okay, one needs to review its history. In 2017, 75 years were completed after the announcement of Quit India movement. Okay, on such occasions, newspapers highlight the event through various articles, editorials, columns, like what happened in history on this day, and reviews, etc. So the best example is every year 15th August. Okay, we give as a benchmark, like 50 years of independence, 60 years of independence, 70 years of independence. So on that day, especially in newspapers, they give a special articles or editorials or columns for giving the exactly what happened on that day or history of that day. So they will give. And here if you see the diagram, so the history can be related with the editorials, articles, the news, columns, and on this day what was the history. So these are the content of the newspaper. The knowledge of history is essential for writing such type. History is also essential in planning radio programs. For example, Akashvani has preserved recordings of all the speeches delivered each year by the Prime Minister of India on 15th August. See, as we said, no, the benchmark, like, you know, the history, on the particular day of history, the historical events should be published as editorials and columns. But what just to publish that, or just to give the information, the knowledge of history is also very much essential. Okay, and for example, as Akashvani is preserving the recording of all the speeches of the prime ministers, which they were delivering on 15th August. Akashvani invites historians as experts for discussion on various occasions such as anniversaries of birth or death of national leaders, anniversaries of historical events, etc. The lecturers on the contribution of various national leaders need to be supported by historical information. See, as we say, no, the history of today, if we are telling, but we can't say no like that only. Just to tell that exactly the information, the thorough information, the thorough knowledge of history should be there. That's why Akashvani invites the historians as experts to discuss on the various occasions, because historians are having the basic depth knowledge about the history. Okay, then lectures on the contribution of various national leaders need to be supported by historical information. Then programs like On This Day in History are also an integral part of the daily program of Akashvani. As I gave the example of DNA, so in Akashvani also On This Day in the History, so every day they tell, as it's an integral part of the Akashvani. Then television channels also telecast the programs based on the history. Okay, based on history, there are so many programs are being broadcasted on the television. Doordarshan and other television channels help in creating interest in history among the people through the historical shows and serials. The mythological and historical series like Ramayana, Mahabharat, Bharat Ek Khoj and Raja Shiva Chhatrapati attracted a very large audience. Now in lockdown also, the Doordarshan has relaunched again these mythological and historical television programs like Ramayana, Mahabharat, okay, the Bharat Ek Khoj and Raja Shiva Chhatrapati. So these are giving the basic information about the history. Okay, and as we already discussed, television gives an more impact on the people as it's audio visual. Okay, while producing this type of programs, maintaining accuracy with regards to the presentation of environment, outfits, weapons, lifestyles, lingual expressions, etc. is essential. Okay, as if now we say television is Doordarshan, the historical programs are being broadcasted. But just to information for these programs also, the information of history should be should be there. It's compulsory. If you are making Ramayana and you don't know what exactly how they used to live that time, what were the costumes, what they used to wear, or what were the weapons, so instead of that you can't make Ramayana. You can't use the guns and bullets in Ramayana, So that time whatever the weapons were used were different. Whatever the costumes were, outfits they were wearing, they were different. Whatever the lifestyle they used to live, that was different. And whatever the languages they were used to talk, or they used to follow day to day life, it was different. So that the information of the history should be compulsory. They should know. Just to produce these TV channels or the TV programs also, one needs to have a deep understanding of the history of the concerned period. So whatever the concerned period, the programs you are creating for that concerned period, a deep information should be there. You can't bring Ram in a jeans and t-shirt. So you should know what were their outfits, what was their lifestyle, what were the weapons they used to use. So everything, the information should be there. Currently, channels like Discovery, National Geography, History, etc. have opened a rich treasure of global history for the audience. And other than this also you have National Geography, Discovery and History. So these are the channels which they have a huge collection of information. The rich treasure of the global history is been opened by these channels to the audience. So you can see the documentary pictures on Discovery and National Geography, about the different, the historical events what were happened in the past. So it has enabled people to view the historical and geographical wonders at home. So whatever happened in the past, it's past. No, we don't have any resource, but to know about them. So these are the best resources, the TV channels, and it as it's a audio visual media, so it has a lots of good impact. So you can watch, you can experience the history right now also. It has enabled people to view the historical and geographical wonders at home. To make such programs more entertaining, some parts of the serials are actually enacted by actors such as characters of heroic men and women. And see, and it has to have a more impact on the people. Some of the more the important roles has been enacted by the actors. Actors, men, women, sportsmen, and army chiefs, etc. See, as you have man and wild. Man, women, and wild you have. So there Modi has been introduced, and he was being the part of that. So if we know the known people, if we have the known people in that program, so we will get more interest, and it gives a lots of impact on that, and impact to us. So beside these serials about ancient monuments, forts, histories of empires, and also the history of culinary arts are watched by the large number of people with great interest, people with a deep knowledge of history. Okay, then you have in respective field or sought out the field of mentioned above. Then you have Doordarshan serials. So on this topic, the question can be asked like this paragraph may be given, and on this paragraph the question can be asked. Okay. The Bharat Ek Khoj, a serial telecasted by Doordarshan, has a special place in the history of Indian television serials. It was very famous. Okay. It was based on the discovery of India. As the name itself, Bharat Ek Khoj, so the discovery of India. A book written by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. So this serial was created on the book written by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and it was directed by Shyam Bengal. This serial represented the history of India from the ancient to the modern period, through throwing light on social, cultural, political history of respective periods. It effectively portrayed many aspects of Indian history like Harappan civilization, Vedic history, then interpretation of Ramayana and Mahabharata, then Mauryan period, Turk-Afghan inventions, then Mughal period and contribution of Mughal emperor, then Bhakti movement, then role of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, then movement of social reforms, then and Indian struggle for independence, etc. Okay, so Bharat Ek Khoj was a serial which was created on the book which was written by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and was directed by Shyam Bengal, and the content was giving the information of social, cultural, and political history of that since your Ramayana, Mahabharata. Okay, Mughal emperor, Harappan civilization, then you have Turk-Afghan, okay, all the information, Bhakti movement, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, till your the Indian struggle for independence, everything, all the informations are given in that serial. Okay, Roshan Seth was an actor. Okay, the Roshan Seth, the actor who played Pandit Nehru's role in this serial, who appeared as a narrator who narrates, who tells the story. So Roshan Seth was playing the role of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, as that book, the serial was created on the book of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, so he was playing the role of that. Okay, then introducing and explaining various parts of the story by dramatizing them using folklore and informative speeches. The serial was admired in all part of India because of the comprehensive historical perspective of Pandit Nehru and its equally comprehensive visual presentation. The way it was presented, the way it was directed, the way it was narrated, it has become very famous, okay, during those days. So as I said, I'll give you what the related information, however the notes to be written, however the notes to be prepared. So everything, as I told, I will send you on WhatsApp. So this is one of the snapshot which I have took. So whatever the dates, whatever the years we are coming across in this entire chapter, so that should be noted down, because on this a question can be asked like a mismatch. Okay, So other than this, if you have any doubts, you can ask. So whatever the video we have prepared, so it's totally in the exam point of view, okay, and the related the different snapshots, how the notes to be should be prepared, and the different notes and everything, that all pictures I will send you on WhatsApp. And other than that also, if you feel like, if you have any doubts, you can call me on my number. Okay, thank you.